Have you ever wondered how our planet, the Earth, came into existence? A question that has intrigued minds for centuries, sparking countless hypotheses. We walk its surface, breathe its air, yet its beginnings remain shrouded in mystery. Today we delve into the chronicles of time, piecing together cosmic clues to explore the fascinating genesis of Earth. From a swirling cloud of cosmic dust to the blue gem we call home, the tale is nothing short of extraordinary. Let's dive into the fascinating journey of our planet's birth. Our story begins about 4.6 billion years ago in the heart of a molecular cloud. Picture a vast swirling mass of gas and dust suspended in the cold expanse of space. This was the birthplace of our solar system, a cosmic nursery, if you will. In the midst of this molecular cloud, a star was forming. As gravity pulled matter inward, the center of the cloud grew denser and hotter, eventually igniting to become our sun. But our tale doesn't end there. Oh no, this is just the beginning. You see, the formation of the sun was a rather messy affair. As it grew, it spewed out a disk of leftover material, a mix of gas, dust, and rock. This disk, known as the protoplanetary disk, is where the magic really began to happen. Within this disk, tiny particles began to collide and stick together, forming larger and larger clumps. These amalgamations of matter are what we call planetesimals. Imagine them as cosmic building blocks, the raw materials from which planets are formed. Over time, these planetesimals stuck together, growing larger and larger. This process, known as accretion, is how Earth began to take shape. As more and more planetesimals collided and merged, a mass began to form, slowly growing into the size of the Earth we know today. But don't be fooled by the peaceful image this might conjure. This was a violent and chaotic time, with countless collisions and massive amounts of energy being released. The young Earth was a fiery, molten mass, far from the blue and green oasis we call home today. This fiery world was constantly bombarded by other planetesimals, each collision adding to its mass and causing it to grow. Over hundreds of millions of years, the Earth continued to accrete material, gradually cooling and solidifying. And thus our planet was born, albeit a fiery, molten mass. It was a world in its infancy, a newborn in the grand timeline of the cosmos. But from these fiery beginnings, life would eventually find a way, leading us to the world we know today. Welcome to the Hadean Eon, the first era of Earth's history. This period, named after Hades, the ancient Greek god of the underworld, was a time of intense heat and relentless chaos. The Earth was a molten sphere, its surface a sea of magma, and the sky filled with choking gases. It was the closest thing to hell you could imagine. As the eons passed, the Earth began to cool. The outer layer of our planet started to solidify, forming a thin crust. Beneath this crust, the molten interior of the planet continued to churn and bubble. This was a world in the making, a world being forged in fire and brimstone. Then something remarkable happened. The Earth's crust became stable enough to form the first land masses. These islands of solid rock emerged from the sea of magma, standing as the first testament to the Earth's enduring spirit. But this was just the beginning. The cooling of the planet continued, and gradually the infernal heat gave way to a more temperate climate. With the cooling of the Earth came the formation of the first oceans. The water vapor in the atmosphere began to condense, forming clouds. These clouds, heavy with moisture, released their burden onto the Earth's surface, creating the first rain. This rain filled the basins and low-lying areas, forming the first bodies of water. The oceans were born, but the Hadean Eon was not without its trials. Near the end of this period, Earth experienced the late heavy bombardment. This was a time when the planet was pelted with asteroids and comets, causing widespread destruction. But it also brought with it water and other vital elements necessary for life. As the Hadean Eon drew to a close, the Earth had transformed from a fiery, inhospitable wasteland into a world with stable land masses, oceans, and a more temperate climate. The stage was now set for the next chapter in Earth's history. From the fiery beginnings of the Hadean, we now move forward to the Archean and Proterozoic eons. In the grand tapestry of Earth's history, these eons mark a significant shift from a world of molten rock and gas to the start of the planet as we know it today. The Archean Eon, beginning 4 billion years ago, witnessed the formation of the first continents. Imagine, if you will, these early land masses, not the familiar shapes we see on maps today, but a hodgepodge of islands slowly coalescing into larger structures. This was the start of plate tectonics, the process that has shaped and continues to shape the face of our planet. But the Archean eon is not just about rocks and land, it's also about life. In this eon, life made its first tentative steps. The earliest life forms were simple, single-celled organisms. They were not much to look at, but their existence marked a profound shift in Earth's story. Life had gained a foothold. Fast forward to the Proterozoic eon, starting 2.5 billion years ago. The stage was set for one of the most transformative events in Earth's history, the Great Oxygenation Event. The cyanobacteria, tiny photosynthesizing microbes, began to pump oxygen into the atmosphere. The oxygen was toxic to many of the anaerobic life forms that had dominated the planet, leading to a mass extinction. But with this upheaval came opportunity. Oxygen created new possibilities for life's evolution, paving the way for the complex organisms that would emerge in eons to come. So in the span of these two eons, Earth became a world of continents and oceans, of plate tectonics and oxygen-filled skies. It became a world where life could not only exist, but thrive and diversify. Life had finally taken root on Earth, but the journey was far from over. As we'll see, the eons that followed would bring even more dramatic changes, shaping the world as we know it today. But that's a story for another time. For now, let's marvel at the resilience and adaptability of life, and at the remarkable transformations our planet has undergone. The Phanerozoic eon, the era of visible life, had begun. This time period spans over 500 million years and is marked by the rapid evolution of life on Earth. It's a saga filled with drama, survival, and resilience, punctuated by periods of mass extinctions and rebirths. In the early Phanerozoic, our planet was mainly inhabited by simple, single-celled organisms. But life, as we know it, was about to take a monumental leap. The Cambrian explosion, a burst of evolutionary creativity, saw the emergence of complex, multicellular organisms. Suddenly, the oceans were teeming with a variety of marine life, from trilobites to the first primitive fish. But the journey was far from smooth. The Earth witnessed 5 major mass extinctions, each time life was pushed to the brink. The most devastating of these was the Permian-Triassic extinction event, often referred to as the Great Dying. It wiped out almost 90% of all species. But life, in its inherent resilience, always found a way to bounce back. Following the extinction events, new forms of life emerged and flourished. The rise of the dinosaurs during the Mesozoic era is a classic example. These magnificent creatures dominated the Earth for over 160 million years, only to be wiped out by another mass extinction event. The disappearance of the dinosaurs paved the way for a new kind of creature to take center stage: mammals. In the Cenozoic era, mammals diversified and evolved, giving rise to a multitude of species, including our very own Homo sapiens. Our ancestors, the early humans, appeared around 6 million years ago, a blink of an eye in Earth's history. They learned to harness fire, invented tools, built civilizations, and ultimately transformed the Earth like no species before them. And that brings us to the present day, a thriving, diverse planet teeming with life. So here we are, after a journey spanning billions of years. We've traversed the tumultuous epochs of Earth's history, from its fiery birth to the flourishing of life as we know it today. Let's take a moment to reflect on the sheer magnitude of time we've covered. Billions of years, each filled with innumerable instances, events, and changes. It's a timescale that's hard to fathom, but it's integral to understanding the story of our planet. We started with the birth of our planet, a fiery, molten body formed about 4.5 billion years ago from the dust and gas of the primordial solar nebula. From there, we moved into the Hadean Eon, a time of intense volcanic activity and the formation of Earth's earliest crust. Then we delved into the Archean and Proterozoic eons, periods marked by the development of the Earth's atmosphere, the appearance of the first life forms, and the gradual cooling and stabilization of the planet. We culminated our journey in the Phanerozoic eon, the era of visible life where complex organisms evolved, thrived, and diversified, leading to the rich tapestry of life we see today. Each of these phases, these grand epochs, were shaped by a myriad of factors, a dance of time, chance, and cosmic events. It's a dance that's still ongoing, molding the Earth in ways we can't predict. The history of Earth is a testament to the power of time and chance. Who knows what the future holds for our incredible planet?